I'll just say one thing,
All
Steph, what
right,
I did.
I'm just going to welcome everybody. Hello, hello. It's Tuesday, November 17th. I can't believe it. We are in the second last month of the year.
I know.
And it's definitely a lot of introspection time. And, you know, with looking at our 90-day game plans and are we where we would like to be? Are we where we committed to be with our health goals, etc. And people already now, so many people are already thinking about New Year's resolutions as opposed to really resolving some of the stuff from this year. And I think that's really important. Some cleanups. You know, what do we need to clean up this year to really launch into an amazing, amazing new year? And I just came across something. It was just like literally flitted across my Facebook, but I thought it was really cool. And I thought I would just throw it out there as it's not homework or mandatory, whatever, but as a challenge, I'm going to do it. And that is, what are 16 things I want to complete this year before 2016 starts? I thought that was a really cool little exercise, just a little list. And it could be, you know, to take that stuff to the tailor that I've been waiting to get hemmed, or just any little thing that has been on your list, or something you said you were going to do, like sign up for a class or go on a date night or whatever little thing. So I'm going to undertake that for myself. I'm going to write a list of 16 things I want to do before 2016 starts. And I think that's just going to be a really cool thing, because if we have a lot of stuff still cluttered in our life and stuff still lingering that we didn't do, how can we start with a clean slate in 2016? That stuff is there. It might be swept under a rug. You might be able to kind of push it aside, but subconsciously it's still going to be cluttering, energetically cluttering your mind, cluttering your space. So if anybody would like to join me in that, I would certainly welcome you guys to do that. Anyone think that's a good idea? Oh, Jody's already starting your list. Cool. All right, Pia, I think you started to say something just as I was starting our recording and welcoming everyone. Pia.
I'm trying to think what I was trying to say. Oh, yes, I got it. After our call ended last night, I thought of a quote Dr. Phil always said, that if you are habitually late, you will be on time accidentally sometime. So that must mean you're habitually late on purpose. So I just thought, I was thinking that all day today, thinking of James's message last night, that if you're always late, accidentally, you're going to be on time someday.
That is a really interesting thing, because, you know, being late or running late, which is such a horrible feeling, I don't like it, but that running late was something that definitely kind of permeated my life. And one of the things that helped me with it is setting a time to leave the house rather than a time to have to be somewhere, because I often underestimated. Say hi, honey. Al is here. I often underestimate. Hi, honeys. I often underestimated how long it actually took me to get somewhere. That was generally the thing. I had every intention of being on time, and then I would be so stressed out. And Al and I were somewhere a couple of times this recently early, and it was just such a novel feeling for us to arrive in time to just kind of stroll into a place without rushing and apologizing and whatnot. So I love that. I haven't read the article yet that Lucy posted. Did anyone read it yet?
And Stephanie, I was going to say that your idea about the 16 things, I really like it, and I'm not committing to it right now because of our call last night. But I'm going to think about it and decide if I'm actually going to be able to do it, so I can keep my word about it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I'm kind of thinking, gosh, 16 things, that's a lot. Well, one of them we did today, one of my 16 things that we did today, and that was booked a little 1 week trip to Mexico just in December, just a quick little getaway. So, and that's something we've been talking about for months. And then today was like, okay, I've got the calendar, you grab the phone, let's figure out a date where we can do this after, you know, sutures and all this stuff comes out. And So yeah, and it's so, and you know, one of the things I realized, and it was also actually a real realization, I might write one of those raw and real kind of dip posts about this. I was at the dentist's office, and I have a huge morbid fear of dentists because of, you know, experiencing dentistry without anesthesia as a little girl. And they were wonderful, just a great, great office, made me feel really comfortable. And I did decide, though, even though they're a holistic office, I said, you guys do have laughing gas, right, if I really need it? And they said, yes. And so I did the laughing gas. And we had a ton of fun. I said, like, why am I not laughing? You guys are laughing, but I'm not laughing. And they said, well, you're really funny on the laughing gas. But anyway, I don't know if that's why they call it. But the guy had such a hard time getting the tooth out. And, you know, once it was out, they had to drill it apart and everything. But he said, oh my gosh, you have such a massive infection in there. How long has this been hurting you? And I said, I don't know, like 10 months or so. And he said, you have let this go for 10 months. Like, your body's been fighting a raging infection 24/7 for 10 months. And I started to think about, like, yeah, how many other times do I avoid and dread something? And then the doing of it is such a relief, and it's so much easier than I ever thought it would be. I mean, it wasn't pleasant, but it was fine. And like all these things, I thought, where else does that show up in my life? And it's the avoidance of doing what I know needs to be done. That's way more painful than the doing it. So that was kind of my little learning in there. And also another one is, you know, thinking something's not a big deal. Oh, I'm just going to the dentist. And my husband had another appointment where somebody was flying into town, and they were meeting with several people. He said, oh, you know, I can cancel that. And I said, no, you can't. Oh, it's no big deal. I'm just going to the dentist. And once I realized it, and I was there, and I actually reached out, I got really emotional, I actually reached out to hold somebody's hand, and nobody was there to hold my hand. And that also made me realize, like, where else in my life do I not ask for the help and support that I really need or could use, or that would benefit me? So yeah, amazing the lessons you can learn laying with your mouth wide open in a dentist chair. So yeah, so that was it. So you guys, so my gratitude, I'll start with the gratitudes, and my wins for this week is that I got my tooth finally. I did have an extraction. I can't believe, even with the pain from the extraction, how much better my mouth feels than it has felt for the last 10 months. It's incredible. So that's my big win and my gratitude. So you guys, who's next?
I'll go. What'd I do? Oh, I'll go next. I'm just really grateful. I've been thinking a lot about the call with James last night, and I am really, really grateful for that whole conversation, and all the different pieces that we touched on. So, yeah.
Thank you. Who's next? Jody.
So this week has been a great leadership week for me. I have helped 2 people enroll people, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing my first freeway call with Kelsey Neal and her aunt on Friday, so that's pretty exciting because I think she's going to be a rising star. And then also just reaching out to my team about this eggnog. Like, I just text blitzed like crazy this morning, and it was cool to see. I think it was either 5 or 6 cycles happened today. I was like, whoa.
Yep. It's amazing. I mean, the pumpkin shake is what rank advanced Jill Bauman last time, because she prepped her team to really, you know, they were the ones who did that. I'm sure they were the ones that created that picture available tomorrow and all that, because everyone else was trying to keep it on the QT. But I guess maybe sometimes letting things leak out is okay if it does that. And it's really interesting that how many people, and it's interesting, I don't know how many of you are in the business group, and people are, oh, I'm so disappointed, I was hoping it would be such and such, and I kind of thought, wow, like, I don't love eggnog, honestly. I wouldn't go buy eggnog. I've made homemade organic eggnog a couple of times. It's like, okay, that's nice. It has a lot of rum in it. It's cool. But to think like I'm disappointed in something Isagenix did because I didn't like it. What if everyone else loves it? Focus on that. So, but it is, you guys, I tasted it. It tastes like it has rum in it, and it's amazing. And Matthew almost broke my arm. We were fighting over it so much. We almost spilled we only got one little packet. We both grabbed for it almost after taking those pictures and almost spilled it. So I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed. So, and it's the exact flavor that I was hoping for out of all of those. So I'm really happy. All right. Thank you, Jody. Who's next? And we will wait for everyone this time to share. So.
I apologize. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I apologize that I was late. I had a girlfriend who called me, and she was kind of having some difficulty in her personal life, and so I apologize for being late. And so the reason I say that is my question is, are we just sharing just some positive things that have happened to us so far in the last week?
Minutes or wins, yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
Well, someone who I recently helped sponsor, she's on her second day of her 30-day system, and she's having a lot of success. I've been following up with her, and she's feeling great, and she's doing really well, and she's just really excited to be a part of our community, and she's having a positive experience so far. So, so yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing that. Is she in our VIP group?
She is, yes. Her name is
You know
Kat.
what? I have to tell you that my experience in launching people on their program if they came through that group, it's a whole different experience. They're excited. They can't wait to get their program. They're having a better experience on the program because I think the expectation's just there. And I have had the 14-day talk with them. So I've just been blown away.
I agree.
Very cool.
We have so many amazing people in our community and so many amazing resources. And I think it makes people feel as though, okay, I'm not alone. I have a great support system. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's a safe place for them to be in. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I agree. I'm so grateful that we have it.
It's, I can't wait to have my phone on in the mornings and looking in there after I do all my other little rituals and everything, and just loving all the posts and the contributions. And Pia, I want you to come cook for me someday because your recipes look so good. So, or your dishes. All right, thank you. Who's next?
I can go.
All right, hey Laura.
Well, I would like to share that this weekend that I was in this masterminds event here in Orlando. I choose to go there because it was very near for me. And it was awesome. It gave me different perspectives and different ideas, and the most important thing I think is that it validates for me the value of what is network marketing. It's awesome. I love it.
What were some of your highlights from that realization? Could you share anything?
I wrote a lot of notes. I got a lot of ideas from different leaders. I think that I think that the most important thing for me is seeing how these other companies approach the business in a more direct way than I am doing or that I have been learning. And that's something I need to change because I'm always afraid of that part. Mm-hmm. These trainings with you and this event, is giving me that strength and those tools to start doing that in a more proactive way. So that's in general. I have a lot of notes that maybe we can share later, but I think in general, that's what I feel like, more empowered to do that. So I think that's the most important thing.
That's great. I love that. And did you hear that that we're coming to Puerto Rico in the new year?
Yes, I heard that, and I am super happy.
We're
Yeah,
happy.
tomorrow we're gonna have a meeting with corporate people, a telephone meeting, and Christina and I were talking. We were talking about that. We don't know if they know, if one group knows what the other people are planning. So tomorrow I'll know. We'll know tomorrow.
Oh, who's your meeting with tomorrow?
It's Javier. Javier is the person who is who sent us the email and the appointment for tomorrow. Yes.
Ah, okay. I would say possibly not then, but okay, great. Cool. Well, keep me posted on that. Can't wait to get the date locked down.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
I'll go, Steph.
All right.
One of my takeaways from the week, I know it might be a small thing, but just going through the videos, the ISA movies, and making, as I was starting to put together some people I want to reach out to and whatnot, just seeing the power of the videos and just being reminded of how extraordinary a company this is and being a part of this incredible community. And even today at work, at my work, I was talking with somebody and just actually getting the courage to start saying the word network marketing more, and the fact that they responded in a positive way and didn't, no judgment, no anything. It just made me realize, all these demons in your head, all this nonsense you tell yourself, it's, just push yourself past it. And it's amazing what you can create when you just go out there in a positive way and that energy comes across. So that was my takeaway for the week.
Thank you. And are you open to a little tweaking on language? Something you
Okay.
can do that?
Yeah. What do you got?
With your permission. And this is something from David Wood. Instead of saying you have to push through, change everything you said with you to I and see how different that feels.
I have to push through? Okay.
All those demons I have and all those things that are blocking me, I have to push through. And I think back to a very early conversation you and I had. I think you hadn't even enrolled yet, and you had all this stuff about network marketing. You said all these people there against network marketing. I'm paraphrasing now, and I said that's not my experience. However, if that's what you're carrying around with you, you may encounter that as your experience. So I was really clear that is the stuff that Paul has to work on. So that's awesome that you have that realization. Good.
Thanks. Yeah, awesome.
Thank you. All right. I think that just leaves Pia and Jennifer.
Okay,
And Jennifer,
I'll go.
Hold on one sec, Jennifer. Consultant, our newest consultant. So yay!
I'm grateful for that. It's been a long time coming.
Way to go, Jen.
Thanks.
Awesome job. All right, Pia.
Okay, actually, yes, Paul, you're right. The power of the videos. I must say I hadn't watched all of them before, and I went through all 22, and I'll probably go through them again to fine tune my notes a little bit more. But they're very powerful, and just going through making your list. At first, I thought this is going to be really hard, but like, what are you going to do? Pick people out of a hat that you need to lose weight, or you need telomeres, you need the anti-aging. But I've learned from a couple people this week that it's so true. If we don't put it out there what we're doing, eventually they're going to find it somewhere, and that's happened twice this week. Oh, sorry, like my chiropractor, I gave him my pamphlets months ago, and I didn't follow up with him as much as I could have. And I went to the chiropractor today. He said, oh yeah, my buddy sells what you were talking about, and I bought a few things off him. And I remember you talking, Pia, about that tea that helped your stress, and I got my wife to try that. And I'm thinking, I talked to him about that 4 months ago, and I didn't utilize the follow-up procedures as well as I should have. And well, his friend, just takes him a little blurb and he's ordered it for him and his wife. So that was a big takeaway for me then. Put it out there what you're into and let the chips fall where they may. And hope that they come with you. That was one thing. But Paul, can I say something about Paul? You set a new precedent for me, Paul, last night when James commended you for being on the call 5 minutes early. No, seriously, because I am one of those late people that I have to really watch on that. And today, like at 8:51, I'm signing in. And I'm getting myself in this chair with my book, with my tea, before 5:29, so that I can sit here and review the notes, review the homework, review my thoughts, and it really has helped, Paul. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, I could help.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And it's so true. I also was here to make sure my iTunes, because my computer's been like molasses lately. So I said, I really have to give myself enough time to start the iTunes and start the Zoom and make sure everything's like up and grinding away. And it's just such a different start to it, instead of stressing out like, oh, is this opening? It's being so slow. And,
Yeah, so true.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm not saying I'll never be late, but certainly that awareness of how much better it feels to not be rushing and to not be making excuses or, just feeling that stress of being late is really nice. So that's a nice reward in itself. And thank you, Pia, for saying that about the following up. It's so critical, especially now. I keep saying especially now, as we're going into momentum. And more people will be approached. And maybe it wasn't even following up. Maybe did you even ask for the sale at any time? Did you ever ask him to join? Did you ever really, I know it because I've done it. It's like, oh, here's some info. Would you mind looking at it? It's not that direct approach. Now, you said he bought some stuff. Does that mean he enrolled?
Well, because he's ushering me out the door, I made a time to follow up with him. He just said he tried a couple of things. So I told him I will talk to him tomorrow, and I will follow up and see where it goes. Yeah.
So that is, that's a big thing. That's why I recommend we don't sell from our own accounts to people, because maybe that person just sold some stuff to him from his own account and didn't enroll him. So in which case, and I would never say go and poach someone from another team, but you were the first one who introduced him. And I always, if somebody comes to me, I always say, how did you hear about Isagenix? If they're seeking me out or seeking Isagenix out, how did you hear about it? A gal that I added today, was it earlier today or yesterday, that Bonnie, and she said, well, a friend of mine in Ontario. I said, well, did you ask your friend about getting it from her? Yeah, she told me just to Google it. So I thought, okay, well then clearly that's not somebody that's building or interested in, so we could definitely enroll that person. So that whole follow-up thing, and yeah, Penny's a classic example of, oh my gosh, if I hadn't followed up, you probably would have found me just because you're that kind of special soul. But I followed up with Penny for months before it was finally the right time for her. So I think it's really, really important. All right. So I want to hear from you guys. This is going to be kind of maybe seem like a random question, but I would venture to say, I'm not going to assume, but I would venture to say that everyone on this call would like to be at a certain level with Isagenix, whether that's an income level, a PIN level, a recognition level, etc. As would I. I'm not, I'm very, very grateful, obviously, for where we are, and it's wonderful. And I definitely would like to get to that next level as well. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think is your biggest obstacle to doing it? Is there one thing that's stopping you? Is it a series of things that's stopping you? And how do we bust through whatever that thing or those things are? And I'd really love to hear from everyone. And just go with whatever comes up. There's no right or wrong answer. There's, don't overthink it. But what do you think it is? And who's willing to share? Jennifer.
I'll share.
Oh, okay. Jennifer had her hand up, and then
Oh,
Jamie,
that's okay.
and then Laura.
Okay. I'm
Don't make
starting
me
to
laugh.
Sorry. I'm starting to lose people at the three-way chat. Like, even though I've added people into the VIP group, I'm like, as soon as I ask them to do like a three-way chat or a three-way call and stuff, right away I find they won't even reply to it. Like, I've had a couple people there say, oh no, I really love what I see, blah blah blah, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well, if we have any questions, I can get my mentor on the line, blah blah blah, we can start setting you up for success, and then nothing. So I was just wondering, like, is there a different approach to that somehow, or?
That is a great question. So you're asking them about adding them to a three-way chat?
Yeah, well, I can't even remember my wording exactly.
But
So,
you're not just opening one. You're talking.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to do. Here's and this. I always go back to something that Mary Kay Ash said, who founded the company Mary Kay. She said people need to be led. The people you're introducing Isagenix to, or our VIP group, or whatever, to, they don't know what the next steps are. They don't know what's they don't know what's best for them, even really in this instance. And even using words like three-way chat or whatever, and I don't know how you worded it, but I simply open one, and Pia does something really cool. She said, I really like how you word it, Pia, and as you came up with this, is she says, I'm just opening up a private chat room with my friend and sponsor, or my friend and business partner, Stephanie. She's been with the company, because most people at this point have questions, so I want to make sure you have another great resource to help you get your questions answered. That's it. And then, and you say something a little about that. So you do my little edification thing, a couple of things. And then you tell me, then you say, hey, Steph, this is my friend Richard. He's in the VIP group looking around. He's looking to drop some weight or something. And he's awesome. I love working with him or something. And then I'll simply say, hey, so glad to meet you here on Facebook. How are you enjoying the group? I don't go into selling them or trying to, and then we'll touch base. Do you have any questions? Most people do at this point. Please feel free to ask. So it's there and it's open, and some people interact in those groups and some people don't. But at least it's there, and we've done that. And sometimes they pop up 2 weeks later saying, okay, so how do I get started now? So I would approach it that way. It's the same thing with, and I think we've done this, maybe it was trainings prior to when you were involved, when we used to do a lot more three-way calls, but people were always like, how do I get people on a welcome call? Nobody wants to do welcome calls. And I can only share how I do it. So when I enroll someone, I say, okay, so now, okay, great, I'm going to put you in the system tonight. You're going to get 2 emails from Isagenix. Please save those because they have your login information. Then you're going to get a team welcome from me, and that has a really important link on it, so be sure to click on that link and review everything. And then, so before the VIP group, I would say, then I'm going to add you to our private group. Well, that's usually already been done. And then in the next couple of days, I want to get one of our other coaches on the phone just to introduce you, and so you have another resource. So we're going to do a little call with you, and then as soon as your box arrives, call me so we can go through it. So I'm guiding them. I'm not like telling them this is what's going to happen, but I'm guiding them and I'm telling them, and people go, oh okay, oh okay, oh okay. Whereas if you said, would it be okay if we called you with my coach? That's weird. Like, no, you don't have to. I get why people might be resistant to that. So is that helpful to maybe do it more like you're their tour guide? So that, as a tour guide, you wouldn't say, let's say you're giving somebody a tour of Rome. You wouldn't say, would you like to go down this street or this street? You'd say, hey, we're going down this street next to see this thing next. So that's I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, because one of the girls that had a question, her question was there products, because it looked like more of an inspiration group. So that's why I tried to post a couple of product pictures or whatever to show that there was products.
Ah.
So she was starting to get confused.
Okay. And then and that's a really great point. And it is kind of a fine balance because we never know who's going to post what. Sometimes it's like 3 product posts in a row. Sometimes it's a day of inspiration. And I do tell people it is our product page, and it's full of inspiration, motivation, and education about our products. So, and again, we don't know, Jennifer, how she's seeing it in her news feed, right? She may have missed a bunch of things in the news feed, and suddenly it was 3 inspirational posts. So, but I would say, prep people for what it is. And maybe that's a note to all of us. I was starting to think actually today, I said we need some product stuff, and some people did post some more product stuff. So it did happen. And great job. You had that feedback. So you posted some product info or product pictures. So perfect. I'd love to see a really consistent influx of, and I need to do a better job of it too, of, us using products or making products. I was going to do it today, but I still wasn't feeling, I was feeling a little lispy, but I was going to make show a video of how I do my Powerade with all our products and that kind of stuff. I think people enjoy those. So.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, I was going to say, so first I was going to say, was that helpful? And does anyone have any other suggestions to that?
For me, like with this being a promo week, that's a great time to reestablish a conversation with our guests. And that I use that all the time, and that's helped.
Okay.
Like those two president's packs that I got the day before my surgery, I just thought I'm going to send it to them and say, look, we've got this promo. And they were like on board. And I was like, wow. So, with the, the seasonal shakes right now and the $50 or $25 coupon, like it's a good time just to say, hey, now's a good time to enroll.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sold out of the shakes or anything yet? Or is it like I'm worried if I tell people we'll be sold out in an hour or two?
What I do is I order extra and offer it to all new enrollments. If you didn't get it, I will trade you if I'm in the area. And I did that the last time with the pumpkin shakes. I bought 6 and I swapped 5.
Oh, wow. Good job. That's smart. Okay. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Anyone else have any thoughts on how to open 3-way chats? Anyone else having issues with that at all? Okay. Pia, you're doing it pretty regularly and you're not getting any pushback, right? Some people interact in there, some don't, and that's okay. That's just human nature. If Pia brought someone over to me to introduce me at a party, some people I might connect with and they're going to be chatty, and some people aren't going to be chatty. That's just, we can't take things like that personally, but I definitely think just guide it. You're the expert, Jennifer. Even though I know you probably don't feel like that because you're still somewhat new, you know way more than they do. So you're the expert.
Would you mind posting like a little entry clip, or something, or phrase or paragraph of what to say on an intro? Or
yeah, that's posted in the business group under files.
Okay.
Yep. So it's easy. So you can just copy paste, and it's hard to copy paste on your phone, I think, but just maybe copy paste it into, the little notes app. Like that's where I have all my links for the videos, in the notes app on the phone. And I have a couple of like Jody I introduced quite a bit, and Gina, so I have some of those just posted in there. So so you have it at your fingertips. All right, great.
On that same note, like I haven't been experiencing a difficulty opening up the 3-way chats, but I haven't had a lot of success in getting the third person to engage. Like I've introduced, you've said hi, and then I haven't gotten a lot of they're saying, oh yeah, this would be a good time, or oh yeah, let's do this. And so how are other people sort of going, hey, did you hear me? Hello, are you ignoring me? Or
yeah.
Here?
Well, and that's something that, the system is so new for all of us, but I do remember Paul and Lynette training that on top of all of this stuff, you're still in touch with your people in whatever way, whether phone, text, or your own little messages or something. So it's not like once you follow the steps, then you just walk away and expect something's going to happen. You might be in there and say, hey, I don't know if you noticed in the group, did you see that we have a special promo this week? Like Jody said, you could say that even in the group chat, for example. Or, oh my gosh, did you see that amazing article about the coffee and how good it is for us? Or, just little things to re-engage them to because maybe they're not going in the group. I don't know if you're seeing your people click like or do anything. I'm really watching the likes now. I'm surprised at some of the people. I think, gosh, they never say anything. They're not replying, but they are engaged and they are reading stuff in there. So,
Okay.
and I think also, you know, you're posting in there pretty regularly, so your people should be seeing that. But still, a little nudge, and I think that's a great time to retouch base with everyone. Did you see that we have a free $25 product coupon if you get started this week? Something simple. Don't copy all the requirements and all, you know, just something really, really simple.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts on what? Wait, Laura, you were gonna wait. Who was? No, Jamie was next. Sorry, Jamie.
No, it's okay. Where I feel like I would love more help and mentoring is how to approach people who I don't know at all. I'll give you an example. I had an excellent opportunity that I allowed to slip through my fingertips one day at the grocery store. I was standing in line, and I was at the checkout line where you can just kind of quickly check out yourself if you have a few items. And I have my basket of items I want to purchase, and in front of me there was a woman standing with a box of protein shakes by Atkins. And I'm standing there, and I'm thinking to myself, here is an opportunity for me to start a conversation with this person, because obviously she's into protein shakes, but I have something better to offer her. And I just did not have the courage to speak up. And I feel as though maybe if I have just a little more guidance on how to approach people in situations like that who don't know me and I don't know them, but I just have a feeling like I need to say something.
Oh my gosh. Who's been around me long? Penny, you've been around me to know how much I love this, right? Oh my gosh. Al and my son have to drag me out of places because I'm always talking to people. And I think, how would I say this? If your immediate thought wasn't, I have something better to offer her, but if your immediate thought maybe to start with would be, wow, that's a lot of protein shakes. I wonder what she's using those for. Right? Without jumping to that next level, without jumping to how can I introduce isogenics? How can I show her a better way? But just starting with that, just that simple curiosity, like a box of protein shakes, that's not something you see people buying in a grocery store every day. So just saying like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of protein shakes. What do you do with those? And see where it goes from that. And, you know, let's say did she look fit or healthy or overweight or what?
She was, I mean, I wouldn't call her overweight, but I wouldn't say she was thin. I mean, I could tell that she's definitely somebody who, you know, could afford to release some weight. And, you know, and something else that I always ask myself, like in that situation, you know, do you give them a business card? Or, because I mean, how else would you keep or do I just pull up my phone and say, hey, are you on Facebook? You know, I mean.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's just role play it. So let's say, Penny, let's say you're the lady in the store buying the protein shakes. Okay. And you're a nice lady. You're not, you know, like running out the door or anything, but, so, and I'll just pretend like, well, I'm behind her and say, oh my gosh, that's a lot of protein shakes. What are you doing with all those protein shakes?
Oh, well, we use them in my family. We drink them because we're always in a hurry and, you know.
Oh my gosh, I love my protein shakes. I released 37 pounds on my protein shakes. I feel amazing. Aren't they great?
Wow. Were you using this kind?
No, I actually it's kind of a private company that you have to, you know, it goes direct from the company. You can't buy them at any stores, but I got a hookup through Facebook.
You got hooked up to them through Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Wow, I bet they're expensive. You said it's a private group. It sounds like it's probably expensive.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much those are, but are you on Facebook?
I am, actually.
Well, if you're interested, it may or may not be for you, but that's totally fine. But I could add you to our little product page and you can just look at it. It's got the prices there and all different kinds of programs. And I don't know, what kind of health goals do you guys have?
Well, yeah, I mean, we want to be healthy. We want to feel good, but we both have, you know, a little bit of weight we want to lose for sure. And we've been using these for like over a year, and we really,
Oh, did they taste good?
yeah, no.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, ours are so good. I'm just talking about it. I'm starting to drool. Anyway, I really have to get going, but if you're open to it, we could just connect there, and I'll talk you into it. It's really a fun group. It's busy. It's got inspiration and education. It's a really fun community. It's my favorite group on Facebook. Or it's my favorite page on Facebook. So if you want to do that, let's just connect.
They really taste good?
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. And I never, like, I'm the girl, I never thought I could ever, I never met a protein shake I liked prior to these. I had cupboards full of unfinished protein shakes.
Yeah.
And they're really yummy. We have, yummy.
Okay, well, here's my name, so you can friend me. Thank you.
So something, now, she didn't really, Penny didn't really react to 37 pounds. Most people would kind of, react more to that, or how did you do that, or whatever. And this was a little rushed, but it can really be that simple. And it might just be you have a 1-minute conversation with her for practice, and nothing ever comes of it. But just really genuinely, so give yourself just do your own little challenges. Say, okay, today I'm going to talk to 3 strangers and ask them something, whether it's like, oh my gosh, I love your shoes, where did you get those? Or, your haircut's beautiful, who do you go to? Or, I mean, there are so many things, but it has to be genuine, because people can smell, if you have an ulterior motive immediately in your mind, people can smell that a mile away. So today I added 2 people to the group. So I'll tell you how I met both of them. One was a bartender at a golf tournament I went to, and super friendly, just a really outgoing guy, smiley, made us a great Bloody Mary. And I said, so what do you do besides this? Well, he said, I'm an entrepreneur Negro. And those are his words. I'm an entrepreneur Negro. He said, I sell wholesale cars, and I do this, and I bartend for a catering company, and does different things. And there were a lot of people coming and going, so we couldn't really talk. But in between that, I was having my drink and talking to some other people. I said, you know what? Your personality is awesome. I think you'd be really good at what we do. What is that? I said, well, this isn't the time to get into it, but if you're on Facebook, so we became Facebook friends. And then I messaged him and I said, hey, so remember we were talking about that, what I do? And there was a little more chat exchange. And then finally I said, today, actually, because he hadn't responded for 2 days to our Facebook Messenger, and I just said, so yay or nay on the group? And he goes, yay today. So I added him. And the other gal was a gal I met at a networking event. She sort of was interested in the group, but I didn't feel like a real excitement. But then last week she commented on one of my posts and asked to be added to the group. And we just met, and I just asked about her business. Where are you from? How long have you lived here? Oh, do you have family here? Oh, and where are your other kids? Oh, back in Palm Springs. Oh, your husband lives in Palm Springs, so you have 2 businesses. So just asking lots of questions. People love to tell you about themselves and their families and their businesses, or their jobs, or whatever. So,
Stephanie, can I?
Yeah.
Just add real quick, because you mentioned the thing about just start in with I'm going to have 3 conversations this week. And Jamie, I wish Lauren was on the call, Lauren Raymond, because she was do you remember, Stephanie, how terrified she was to talk to people? She was like, I can't make that, just making those connections. And like now to see her, you would think she just came out of the womb being a natural connector with people. And she literally did that. She took that advice, and we would talk. I would be like, call me tomorrow and tell me about the 3 connections that you made. And they would literally be just her in the grocery store, not how can I talk about Isagenix, but how can I make a heart-to-heart connection with this person, whatever the outcome is. And we'll have to have her share sometime, like her take on the difference that it's made for her. And she's so natural at it. Now, when I hear her tell stories of the people she's connecting with and what she's saying to them, I'm like, what? It's amazing.
And it was, thank you, Penny. And it was kind of a pushing, even when I was there. Like we'd be, I said, we had lunch. And I said, now there are all these little shops. We're just going to go in and out of the shops and just practice connecting. Mm-hmm. And so I did a few, I connected with a few people. I said, okay, now you go. And and they did. And sometimes it was a little awkward and weird. It's like, I feel like I'm interrogating people. And but she's become a total natural. So is that something that you want to challenge yourself to do?
Yes, and everything that you ladies have said is very helpful. Absolutely, absolutely. Because
I would love to have that. Yeah.
One of the struggles I have is I don't think I believe in myself enough at times, and I know I can do that, but I allow sometimes the fear to kick in and it holds me back from what I know I can really do. And so I think challenging myself and just saying, you know what, I'm going to do it, whatever the outcome is, it is. I'll probably never see this person. Well, I may see them again, I may not, but at least I did it.
Well, here's the thing, and people have, I certainly, the fear of being embarrassed, or what if they like give me a mean look and snarl and don't talk to me or whatever. You know what? That person will walk out the door and they will never think about you. And you think they're going home going, I can't believe that girl at the store was trying to talk to me about my protein shakes. What's wrong with her? Like people forget about us so fast.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even believe it. So
That's true.
do you want me to be your accountability buddy to make sure that happens this week?
Yes, because yes, I need that.
Awesome. Okay. And Jody, I don't know if you want to share, because you and I have had this very similar conversation some time ago. She's like, I have no problem talking to people I know, but people I don't know, I don't. And you have been. So how did you overcome it?
Well, just the two that I totally remember. One, I was at a store buying a coat, and she really helped me. She really went bent over backwards to help me and get me the stuff. And she's like, "You're wearing workout wear. What do you do?" Like, because it was middle of the day, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just coming back from teaching classes." And she's like, "Oh, I'd really love to work out anytime." And I'm like, "So what if I could show you a way that you could?" And I just basically said it like that. And she was like, yeah. And so unfortunately I lost the receipt, and I've tried to go back to the store twice and she's not there. The second one is I'm getting hold of her this week, but I was picking up, do you see the sign back there? It says, love what you do what you love. I was picking up the sign and she was like, oh, what do you do that you love? And I said, oh, actually I help inspire other people to live their best lives. And I said, I guess I'm kind of like a health coach, but I said, I really just want to inspire people. And she's like, that sounds really cool. And I said, well, actually, and I pulled up my phone and I said, are you on Facebook? Because we have a group that I can add you to, and you can just check it out and see what you think. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. And so I laughed, and yeah, so both were like, oh, you really can do this if given that opportunity. Like, I do believe that if you go in like, how can I find somebody? How can I find somebody? You know, like, then it doesn't feel authentic. But if you go in and you just hear those certain words, energy, wish I could, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And thank you. That's a great share, and a great tip my husband actually suggested to me is, because I was famous for losing cards and people, he just take a picture of it as soon as you get your little mitts on it, and then it's at least there. But you'll find her again if you're meant to connect. And you know, instead of going into it like Jody said with that intention of who, but if you come in, like if you in the morning, and I don't know if you meditate or pray or God or universe, whatever your beliefs are, just saying, you know, put someone in my path today who's seeking what I have. It's about that place of service. And then you're going to be blown away. You'll meet people who'll say, and you start talking about somehow about, you know, what you're cleansing or whatever. Oh my God, my husband and I just this morning were talking about we need to do a cleanse or something. Like it just starts to happen. So is that helpful?
Very, very much so. Thank you so much.
Good. All right, Laura.
Okay. So I think that there are three things that have been holding me back. The first one is the language barrier, which I think I'm overcoming that one because I'm pushing myself very hard on that. And the second one is my fear about talking about the business, because I feel that I am doing very well sharing the products, talking about the products. I feel super comfortable about that. And I am being able to enroll people based on that. But when it's about a business, it's where I struggle. And I think that it's probably my past beliefs that I have to overcome. And this last weekend has been a very important one to me because of what I just shared before. But the third one, I think, is the most important one, and it's having my family to understand what I'm doing. It's very hard for me to get them to understand it because I have been in my house, taking care of them all the time. And now it's different because I've been working in and out as a pharmacist, but always a part-time and things like that. But now they are seeing me working in the house. And sometimes I cannot do, like, there are certain things that I have to do when they are at home because the people work and I have to do certain things with them in the house. And then the other situation is that my husband comes and goes. So he's here with us just like, for example, next week or this week he's coming and he's going to be here 10 days. And I know that that's going to stop me because he's here, he wants all his attention or my attention. So that's a big one. That's a big one because I am like a very, very, very committed for 2-3 weeks. And then when he comes, I have to stop for a week. And it's like getting him to understand what I'm doing and taking it as seriously as I am taking it. That is keeping me like being fully committed and then partially committed. And that's the big one, I think.
So let's focus on that final one first, actually. So what does your husband think of you doing this? He's a doctor. The first thing is that he's a doctor and he has been on control of all the financial things of the house. So probably he doesn't think that this is necessary. And he wants my role as a mother in the house. Also, I think that he is using the products, he's involved in Isagenix, but he is not willing to understand them better, so he can have a strong belief on them, and that's something that I have to work with him. So that's okay. So does he know Dr. Beauchamp?
Not personally. So that's one thing I'm gonna do during Christmas when I'm there, because I want them to get to know each other better.
Yeah, I think even socially, you guys get together, go for drinks or something. Or this is something I suggested actually for the Colorado team, Penny. You might maybe remind them, is having a little viewing party of Eric Worre's film, Rise of the Entrepreneur. Because it's not an Isagenix produced event movie, but it really explains the industry beautifully. But I think what's most important is that you get that inclusive why, and you first have to really enroll your family in it. So I don't know if there's anything that your family seeks more of or would like to do more of, if it's time, if it's a trip, if it's something that you could say, maybe sit down and build vision boards together. I know Kathy Coover used to, with Eric, he would help her put stamps on envelopes and different things like that and involve him in the business. And then they always had these little goals. So at the end of the week, if this happened, maybe they would just go to a special little ice cream shop or something. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. And, when mommy achieves this, then we're going to go here or get this or something that's tangible for them. And I think experiences are more valuable to kids than things, especially since you guys obviously are already financially, stable and everything. So just something that they can buy into. And I'll tell you what, moms like Lisa DeMeo, talk about moms that work. I'm sure she works crazy, crazy hours. But she has her kids so enrolled in the vision of where they're going with this that they'll be like, Mom, did you hit whatever star yet? Mom, did you do your calls today? They're the ones driving her. So I think that's really important. Maybe make a family vision board or, an Isagenix vision board and tie it to something that's important to all of you. I don't know if there's something, if your husband would like to work less hours, or I don't know what that thing is, but I think you have to kind of find that so that they can get behind you and understand what's possible. I have a doctor friend who he makes $700,000 a year. He lives a very comfortable life, but he doesn't have as much time freedom as he'd like. And he admittedly, he said, I want to be at my condo in San Diego whenever I want, not just when I have to work it around my ER schedule. So
Exactly.
yeah. And then as far as the business, it's not, I don't know if you talk about Isagenix as a solutions-based company. That's one thing, is certainly that is one of the solutions, is the wealth creation that you can list. But also when we get people started, and just that question of 1, 2, 3, the magic question, are you a 1, a 2, and a 3? And if you're not comfortable doing that, we can do it on a welcome call, and I can ask them until you get comfortable with it. Because you're not really saying, do you want to do the business? There's a business. But we certainly are obligated to let them know that there is a compensation, there's the possibility of compensation and rebates that they have to know about. Whether or not they choose to participate in that is okay, and that's how I say it. I said that I don't know where your Isagenix journey will take you. You may be a lifelong happy product user, and that's it, and that's wonderful. However, I'm obligated to share with you about a few things because they're only available for a short period of time, some certain rebates. So let's just walk through it for a minute. Just give me a minute to walk you through that, and that's it. And then you have to say, so are you a 1, a 2, or a 3? And Jody, you're now starting to do that, right? That was one that and it's kind of weird at first. And I would explain the whole thing, but then I wouldn't say, are you a 1, a 2, or a 3? I'd just say, so you could be a 1, a 2, or a 3, and then I'd move on to something else. So we actually have to ask the question and let them tell you where they're at.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. And what was the number 1? I can't remember what your first one.
The number 1 is the language barrier. In Spanish, I'm doing great, but when it's in English, sometimes I feel insecure. But I'm doing certain things. Like I am listening to podcasts every day, and as part of my training, of course. But then I listen to them again, and I repeat the words out loud while driving. I look like a crazy person. Like I'm listening to, let's say, Kevin Steele, and I'm trying to speak as quick as Kevin is talking, and things like that. That's helping me a lot.
That's great. Well, I understand you beautifully. And just so you know, there are people who built Isagenix. I remember, was it somebody on Luna Pang's team, Penny, that story where he learned how to say before, after, sign here. That was it. That's all he knew how to say, before, after, and sign here. So
yeah, I think I've been always a person who likes to do things very well. I am very I like, let's say, perfectionist in all the things I do, which is good, but then not that good when things like in things like that, I think, because the most important thing is that everybody can understand me. But that's kind of the thing that sometimes makes me feel insecure.
Well, let me tell you something, that passion trumps perfection every time. And whenever I see Kathy Coover on stage, I think she could be speaking Martian, and I would want to join her. And it's not the words, it's the enthusiasm, it's your passion, it's your excitement. That's what people are going to join. So. But I get it. So we can let go of that a little bit, Ignorance on fire is better than perfection on ice. I've been telling myself that for years.
Exactly.
All right. Awesome. Quick takeaways, and that's it, guys. Oh,
I just want to say real quick, Laura, I've only met you here through this video stuff, and I am shocked to hear that you're insecure about the language. I think you speak English beautifully, and they will feel your heart and not even care about what you say. So
perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. And before we do the takeaways, I have one quick question. I've just come across a situation today where it's 2 best friends, They're both, married and whatever, but they're two best friends. They were shopping, and they both want to be added to the group. So should I just go ahead and add them in the same welcome? Like here's best friend 1 and best friend 2, and they're both, and just kind of do a little welcome with both of them together, and do it that way, or should I do separate ones?
I think in that instance, as long as you explain you met them together and they're best friends, so people don't think, oh, I can add all my new people in
Okay.
lump,
Okay.
That'd be nice. Why not?
Yeah,
Okay.
on that line, I would do a picture of them together.
Yeah, I don't have that though, so
Oh, okay.
On Facebook, maybe they have one.
maybe. I just met them though. I don't really know them, and that's where I don't know if I
A
want
best friend quote then.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But I do, you guys, I do definitely feel like whenever you can, pictures of people, I just find it so much more powerful there. The only time I don't add a picture of the person if they don't have one on Facebook, or it's like a really bad picture and I don't want to embarrass them. But it just makes the whole experience so much more personal. And just think,
even if you haven't met them and you don't ask them, can I use one of your pictures? You just go and get it.
yeah,
Okay.
I do. And I just think about people move through life and how often do they get recognized and cheered on and welcomed and seen by, so yeah, I mean, obviously don't pull something nasty looking. If somebody has a picture that would be embarrassing, but yeah. All right.
Has anyone been like uncomfortable with you taking a picture without asking, or does it
So far, no, I've never had that, because I'll grab their profile picture. Now, somebody didn't have a profile picture. I thought, okay, so that might be someone private. So I added, I didn't go digging for a picture or whatever. But I figure if it's a public profile picture on Facebook, then in a private group, that's how I look at it. So I haven't so far. Nobody has said to me, why did you do that? Or,
Okay.
That is true. They are on Facebook.
Yeah. And then if it's the profile picture, then it's because they like that picture very much. So.
yeah, generally, yeah. And don't you feel like when you're welcoming someone and you see them, like the family or something, don't you feel like it's just, I don't know, I just feel, it feels different to me than welcoming non-person pictures. So, have you guys had bad experiences with somebody saying don't do that, or?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, take away and we'll wrap it up. Pia. Let me unmute you. Okay, go ahead. No, you're unmuted.
Okay. Yes, this is a great call. Thank you, everyone, for your contribution. But of course, the takeaway, I'm listening to all your, what is your biggest obstacle? And mine is the opposite. Mine is, I have no trouble approaching people. I have no trouble connecting, I don't think, because that's what my job is based on, and it comes naturally. But you guys seem to be like computer Nazis there. The follow-up, the system, the following the system and the tracking. That's going to be my Achilles heel. But the connecting, my follow-up is my takeaway is everyone has their challenge. Everyone is different on different levels, and nobody's wrong. It's just where you are.
Yeah. That's a great one. That's a great one to end on. And again, like I say with follow-ups, you do what works. If you could see all the sticky notes on I have sticky notes. I have digital stuff. The whole spreadsheet, I have one, but it just, for me, that doesn't work as well for me, a spreadsheet. I have people I'm adding to the group. I write them on I have to have it in front of me. So it doesn't have to be pretty or perfect or whatever. And, sometimes you go, oh, shoot, I didn't do a second video for that person, and they've been in there for a week now.
Yes.
Do it anyway. It happens. It happens to everyone. So Thank you guys, and please share in the business group what a great call this was, because I feel like it was a great call. And I don't know where the heck everyone else is, but I'm so glad we all showed up.
Yeah.
Me too.
I feel pretty good. As the only guy here on the call, being surrounded by all these ISA babes is pretty cool
Well,
for me.
My husband,
Aren't you lucky?
my husband is sitting right here. He's just not on screen, but you can enjoy the ice being surrounded by ISA babes. Yes.
Hi, Al.
USSC.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Stephanie.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
What's
Stephanie.
Bye.
oh, Penny's
That's for
mirror.
Al.
Wait, show Al.
Where is it? Oh, where are you at? Oh, okay. Got it.
That's a long story. We'll have to share some other time. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.